So welcome everyone to this Smart Heritage Working Group 13 meeting. Please be advised that this session is going to be recorded and then we will share it in URADA and POCITYF YouTube channels. So we are going to initiate this meeting with a Slido. So as you can see in the next slide, you will find a QR code. So please scan this QR code and let's do some questions that we will see now in the screen. So before we dive into the discussion, let's start with a quick icebreaker. It's always exciting to know where are you joining us from today. So please share your location in the chat. So Belgium, Austria, the UK, Romania, wow, Barcelona, Croatia. Italy, Brussels. Wow, nice to see that participants from various corners of the world. Nice. Let's go to the next question. So the next question is to know your opinion about the upcoming topics meetings, which will be regional sustainability that we will talk later on, energy and cultural heritage. So please select your icon, which is very interesting or very uninteresting. Thank you for sharing your thought. It's nice to see that you find interesting these topics. Great. So, and let's go to the last question. This final question is to inform you about the 14th meeting that will take place during the URADA Summer School in person in Malta on the second week of May, alongside with our members from the GOSO Regional Development Agency. So we'd like to discuss if you will be able to attend this meeting. It's gonna be focused on sustainability and cultural heritage. So let us know if you will be able to attend in person, online, or not sure yet. Great. So we have still a little bit of time. It's good to know. It will be recorded online, but it will be just streamed. We won't be able to participate online. Okay, so let's continue with our presentation and our meeting of today. So thank you again. I will kindly ask Alejandro to share the screen with the presentation. Great. So for those who are joining for the first time, my name is Paula. I work as a project and policy officer at URADA, the European Association of Development Agencies, and I will be moderating this first half of the meeting. I'm joined by my colleague Alejandro, Cristina, and Gonzalo, who will be assisting me with the technical aspects. So this working group was established in 2020 in collaboration with the Lighthouse and Fellow Cities of Horizon 2020 POCITYF project. And the purpose of the working group is to address issues related to smart cities and preservation of cultural heritage buildings. So welcome everyone to this 13th meeting. We are here to discuss smart mobility, which is a critical aspect for urban development. Smart mobility has become increasingly prominent as the cities globally seek innovative solutions for urban transportation challenges, sustainability, and technological advancements. And with the growing demand for efficient and sustainable transportation, exploring new approaches is vital. That's why we have today with us two distinguished speakers who will share their respective initiatives and innovative projects regarding this issue. So before we are starting, just a couple of housekeeping rules. Let's go to the next slide. I would like to remind everyone to keep their microphones mute. Then I will like to encourage to keep your camera on, but we respect your privacy. So if you wanted to keep it off, it's also good. Please take into account that we will have at the end of the session half an hour with a questions and answer session. So if you wanted to do any question, you can write them on the chat, or you can also address them by unmuting your microphones. So let's continue with our today's agenda. We'll have first, I will be moderating this first half of the meeting, while Mr. Martin will be moderating the Q&A session. He's the team manager of research and innovation at New Energy Coalition, and Lighthouse City Manager POCITYF for Alkmaar. So let's start with our first presentation. So Christian Musmuller, sorry for the pronunciation. He's a senior expert in strategy project management for urban development in the city of Graz, Austria. With over 2 decades of experience, his leadership has been key in driving programs at EU, national and regional level. And with a master in geography, Christian brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise in urban planning to our discussion today. So good morning, Christian. We will let you share your screen so you can show us your presentation.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, great.
Okay, thank you very much for your kind invitation and your introduction of my person. Good morning, everybody. Today I was asked to present the outcomes and the lessons learned of a project we implemented together with other transnational partners in the course of the Central Europe program from 2020 to 2022. Directly in the demanding period of the COVID time. So as you can assume, we as the project partner didn't meet very often in person. Most of the time we discussed and implemented the project online. That was a new experience. It was a new way to collaborate for me. But let's start into my presentation. I got the information that my slides will be passed on after this event to you, and I tried to integrate some web links to other interesting information sites. So I structured my presentation into following parts. First, I'd like to give you a quick overview about the Annexability project. Then I will talk about the mobility status of our functional urban region here in Graz. Graz, as you might know, is the second largest city of Austria with 300,000 inhabitants. And the functional urban region around us consists of 45 very small communities. So Graz is in the middle, 300,000 inhabitants and 45 communities with a total of plus around 200,000 inhabitants. So in total, we are talking about 500,000 inhabitants when we talk about the functional urban area of Graz. Then I will come to the project goals for us as a partner of the Annexability project. I will subsume the outcomes and will close my session up with lessons learned and the further steps in connection to the mass strategy in Graz. So what was it all about, the Annexability project? It had the aim to increase the ability of public authorities, public transport authorities, to deal with new services, new mobility services which emerged the last years and which we have to deal with. The project helped us to strengthen our planning capacities and capabilities, and to be better prepared to steer these mobility trends on urban level, but also on regional level. Here you can see the project consortium consisting of several partners in following EU member states: Belgium, Croatia, Germany, Hungary, Italy, and Poland. The lead of this project was the transport company of the city of Leipzig in Germany, and it was at Ruprecht Consult, you might know this private company, private mobility expert in Cologne, was the external assistant of the lead partner. In Austria, there were two project partners. Austria Tech is a scientific company of the on the federal level, and the city of Graz. And when we say city of Graz, in fact, it was a regional consortium here covering stakeholders from the functional urban region, like the state government of Styria. Austria consists of 9 federal states. One of them is Styria. Then the regional management of this central region in the province of Styria, the regional transport company Verbundlinie, and the city of Graz with its own local transport company. So what's the status quo? That you get a better picture what I'm talking about. Of course, like many other cities, we have an issue with motorized individual traffic, big commuting issue. Since now the local politics have not introduced an UVA here in Graz. But at the moment we are setting up a SAMP 2040 here for Graz, and in addition to that, there will be also a revision of the regional mobility plan the next 2 years, I guess. When I talk about the public transport, the city center is, from my point of view, very well connected with tram and bus lines. There are rapid transit railways connecting several points of interest in the region, plus a regional bus system. The goal is, of course, to speed the public transport connections from the region, from the rural areas to the city center. And currently, there is implementing the densification of this public transport network, and of course of the intervals of the journeys. And there is an extension of the nightline services, and also the journeys on weekends and public holidays. Yeah, here on the left side you can see a modal split diagram of the city of Graz itself. Yeah, I think it's a good baseline where we can start, but of course we intend for the next years to reduce the individual car traffic and to increase the public transport share. Yeah. Excuse me, may you mute yourself, please? There is some disturbance. Okay. Additional multimodal mobility offers here in Graz is an e-car sharing system, which is operated by the city itself. It's called TIM. After this presentation, you can reach the website of it to the links integrated. And we expanded this TIM system also to our region in the last years. It's called Regio TIM for the functional urban area. And the system and also the design of the hubs and so on is is identical. That makes it easier and more accessible for the customers. Then we have a micro public transport system, a shared taxi system in the region, but also in peripheral parts of the city. It's called East Mobile or VO Mobile, and I just called a colleague from the regional management of the central Styrian region, and just before our meeting, and she told me that from 2022 to 2023 there was an increase of plus 30% of the users of these shared taxi services. I think that's not that bad. When I talk about bicycle traffic, we have a program running together with the provincial government, a co-financing program where we extend the regional bike lanes and the bike infrastructure like bike parking and storage and so on. And of course, we try to increase the public e-charging infrastructure at public transport hubs. So what was the project goals? What were the project goals for us during the Dynaccessibility project? As I told you before, big issue is the reduction of motorized individual traffic and reduce the associated problems. We want to make the public transport and other shared mobility approaches more attractive, and therefore we started a strategic process setting up a MaaS system which is publicly operated and which has the public transport as a backbone. So I think this is very interesting to mention, because we all know MaaS systems who are privately run, and they intend to make profit, of course, and I'm not sure if they promote public transport, especially in their business cases. So that was basic for us, and of course, we soon recognized that we have to set up this MaaS strategy together with other regional stakeholders, like I mentioned before. So you can call that when you use a cool word, a multi-level governance approach, of course. And we wanted to get more information about innovative mobility technologies, planning methods, good practices throughout Europe within the project, to build up capacity for us as a local municipality administration, but also for the regional players. This is the big advantage from my point of view of those Interreg projects, that it serves very good to start know-how transfers on several topics. What were the concrete outcomes within the project here in Graz? We focused on user experience tests with our current Graz mobile app, which is in use, I think, for 10 years. It's a kind of online ticketing service and a route planning service for us here in the city of Graz. And we intended it to make it even more user-friendly. Then we implemented a feasibility study for future regional mobility packages, which were or should be specifically tailored to the needs of the inhabitants in the region. Therefore, customer types were segmented, such as car fans, flexible decision makers, cost-conscious young calculators, or young families. And in the course of this feasibility study, 1,500 interviews were implemented to get a valid picture of potential mass target groups in future. I won't go in detail through that next slide. I just, you can read it if you like afterwards. For us, at the end of the project, we got the impression that we could be a showcase for municipal operated strategic mass developments in the framework of a medium-sized city and its functional urban area. I think this is one of the learnings we made. We have to differentiate between capital cities, metropolitan areas, and medium-sized cities, because the framework conditions are, as you know, very different. The potentials for private projects or business cases are very different between those two scales. So that was a learning we took away from this project. But what else? For us, we recognized that a step-by-step approach is the best one to set up a mass system in future. Success factors could be supra-regional connections, increased or more supra-regional connections, and better connections from the outskirts to the center, to the city center. The involvement of local, regional, federal, state stakeholders in the process design. Big issue is, of course, that we have to have a very good pictures about the needs, the mobility needs on the future users. This is basic, of course, and yeah, those mobility needs are highly individual, and the region, of course, could be seen as very heterogeneous when we talk about different sub-regions and areas of it. So the point was, or at the end, we decided to favor a concept of so-called mobility configurator. We learned that in Switzerland, the SBB has such a fair concept, which we can see as a good practice. So users of a mass system can very flexible book their services as they need it, so to say. But of course, this is a very complicated system behind such a convenient booking platform, and this has a lot to do with standards of different standards of data communication and so on. So there we got to the point that we told ourselves that we have to wait a few years to get those standards of interfaces and data on national level, and then of course it would be good to have such standards on EU level to ideally set up such a mass system. The challenges currently are, of course, relatively high costs, so uncertain financing such a system in our medium-sized city environment. We see no visible business models, at least for Graz. And on the other hand, it's very hard to predict specific outcomes of such a mass system. Therefore, other mobility measures have currently a higher priority. Yeah, what did we do after the ending of the project? There are, of course, ongoing strategic consideration in a still existing regional working group on mass. We think about the allocation of different resources in future, and also try to implement national or EU funding projects for further modules of our strategy. We are working on the extension of the existing public transport online services, and are thinking together with other Austrian stakeholders, also from other provinces and the federal level, using similar or at least connected, well-connected software systems or IT technologies. Yeah, and as I told you before, there's an ongoing process on federal level to get standards and interfaces. I guess there is a similar process also on EU level. Yeah, and this is my last slide. Currently, we are implementing feasibility studies for supplementary mobility services like ride pooling, for instance. We tackle with questions like, will it have effects on urban sprawl, for instance? And of course, we are thinking on the further development of the regional micro public transport services I told you before. So now I'm at the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your audience. And I would be happy to get in a discussion afterwards with you.
Thank you very much, Christian. It's been a pleasure to hear and to know more about the city of Graz and your public transport systems and projects. So yeah, I see a couple of questions that we will address them in the second half of the meeting. So now let's go with the second speaker, which is Stefan Kavar. Please join me welcoming Stefan on the next slide. He works in the Dubrovnik Development Agency, DURA, as a senior expert associated with ICT, project management and teaching. And with a focus on leveraging technology for innovation, he has successfully managed projects at different levels, ensuring an efficient implementation. And in addition, he plays a role in coordinating a Smart City Dubrovnik project, contributing to urban sustainability. So welcome, Stefan. Please, let's start with your presentation. The floor is yours.
Nice to meet you all. Do I share the presentation or?
As you prefer. You can share your presentation or we can do it for you.
It says for me that host disabled participant screen sharing, so I think it has to be enabled.
Yes. Okay.
Hello?
Just a second, please. Could you unmute Yusuf, please? Let's see if we can. Okay. I think, yeah. Now, so let's share the screen.
Okay, I can share it now. Okay,
yeah,
I can share it. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah.
Great.
Great. Okay, hello everybody. Thank you, Paula, for your introduction. My name is Stjepan Čavar. I will show you few solutions, few smart city solutions in city of Dubrovnik, considering mobility, especially pedestrian and traffic mobility. Just a few words, an intro about Dubrovnik, to give you an image that Dubrovnik is a small city, about 40,000 inhabitants on the south of Croatia on Adriatic Sea, touristically oriented, but has 1.2 million arrivals during the year. So you see a big discrepancy here from number of people living in a city and number of arrivals. You can imagine that mobility is the biggest challenge in a city during the year. Most of the visitors come, these are airplane arrivals and cruise ship arrivals. Few words about the Dubrovnik Development Agency. It's an agency founded by the city of Dubrovnik, completely in ownership of the city. Primary aim is preparing implemented EU-funded projects, and it's a union between the city and other institutions and organizations relevant to sustainable local development. Particularly my job is preparing implemented projects and coordination of Dubrovnik smart city projects. So Dubrovnik adopted the smart city strategy in 2015, very early, one of the first cities in Croatia. Last year, the second strategy was written, and in a few months it will be adopted by Dubrovnik City Council. Very important document for us because it's a main document we are using in implementing different projects. I have to mention big project going on in the city from 2017. As I told you, mobility is a big problem in a city. Also, since Dubrovnik is a touristic city, experience of the city for the visitors coming to the city is very important to us, but also how to say it, citizens are also very important. So this big project is trying to find a special, how to say it, level between two of these different things in the city. So this is a big project going on using short-term, middle-term, long-term solutions to prevent over-tourism, overuse of historical center of the city, is trying to manage destination using different approaches, is multidisciplinary. So this project is trying, one approach is trying to even arrivals to the city, especially cruise ships visitors, daily visitors to the city, but also using many ICT solutions that are helping in solving this challenge. So since my primary job is ICT, I will show you different little solutions and how they are complementary in solving this bigger picture. So very important project going on in the city since 2017 is Dubrovnik Visitor System. This is a set of 6 cameras that are located in Dubrovnik historical core. You can see this area over here covered with counting cameras. These are only counting cameras. They are not ICTV system that are following people. It's GDPR compliant. and became very important to the city and to our agency, because in every moment we know how many people are within historical core. The historical core is UNESCO protected area, very important to us, and we have the data for past 7 years, and we know behavior of people coming to historical core. We know when they are coming, and it became very important in managing that number. So the system comprises of 6 counting cameras placed on all entrances of historical core. In a couple of European projects, we are also sharing the data. The data became publicly available. You can see it here in this Interreg project, Carry Data. We share data in Snap4City project with the cities like Florence, like Olympia in Greece, cities that have similar challenges, big number of people coming to the cities in a short time period and creating big crowds. 1 year after implementing the Dubrovnik visitor system, I have to tell you that we did analysis of numbers of the Dubrovnik visitor system last year to show are the measures of this big project I showed you before, Respect the City, are the measures working. And the numbers show that methods are working, because the number of people coming to the city is much more dispersed during the day. Maybe in 2018, 2019, we had a problem, big numbers of people coming to the city historical center in one short period of day. Now we see numbers are more dispersed, and people are coming more during the morning hours and during the night hours. So the as you see, this ICT solution is giving the answer, are the bigger measures working in the city. In 2018, we implemented small project as machine learning, AI became very popular. We get the idea to use machine learning in a small application that estimates number of people in historical contact zone of Dubrovnik in the future. So we have a web application in which you can pick maybe the day of your arrival in a city that will be in August this year, and you can see how crowded it will be historical center on that day or that part of day, so you can plan your arrival better, so your experience of the city will be better. Also, the other small solution that we finance from one of the Interreg projects is crowds management application with elements of augmented reality. We had a challenge in one of the biggest Dubrovnik museums. They needed a multimedia guide with elements of augmented reality, and we needed to use the angle of crowds management. So we were thinking how to employ or how to make peace between those two things. So we came to the idea to use this application to attract people coming to the museum in the hours that are off peak. So when the crowds in the museum are the lowest. So we are using 2 versions of this crowds management applications to attract people to come museum. So the application uses counts the number within museum, and during the off-peak hours, people are invited to see the longer version of a multimedia application with all elements of multimedia guide with augmented reality that you can't see during the peak hours. So this is also the other angle, how to attract people and how to lower the crowds within one building that we are using. These are the images of this application. It was also funded by one of the Interact projects. Through several Interact projects, we funded also free Dubrovnik network Wi-Fi system, 52 access points throughout historical core. Why is it important to mention it here in management pedestrian activities? Because we use the landing page of the system, or this Wi-Fi system, to communicate with visitors coming to the city, to direct them to less crowded areas of the cities during the peak hours. So this is another angle of management of pedestrian activity. You see that most of these projects are funded by European project. I didn't mention that the Dubrovnik Development Agency in past 10 to 12 years implemented already more than 60 EU projects, mostly Interregs, Cosme, Horizon, and so on. So we have a big experience in that, and we are using these funds to improve mobility in the city. In 2019, this is one project mostly oriented to citizens of the city. This is a big project of implementation of sensors covering all parking spots in the city. So this is not a pilot project that is covering one part or one parking in a city. All parking spots in ownership or city of Dubrovnik are covered with sensors. This is a real-time application that you can use and see if you are going to one part of the city, are there available parking spots over there. But also this historical angle of data is very important, because this database that is already has 5 years of data is used by the city to plan future parking location and to see how can they make locations that are not in use much more visible or available. So also that angle is shown. Here I will just mention a few recently implemented solutions with the aim of reducing traffic congestion around the historical core. Very important solution that started 2 years ago is Bus Web Shop. So every bus disembarkation of daily visits in a city historical core must be previously booked, and every bus arrival has its time slot. So this is one of the methods how to manage buses coming, mostly daily excursions coming to the city, because you see 1.2 million people coming to this small area is a big number, so it needs to be managed. Also, the city is announcing that this year special traffic regime zone will be implemented, reducing traffic around historical core. So the city of Dubrovnik is systematically trying to regulate the ways and conditions of entry in this UNESCO protected zone. Also, every delivery of vehicles is regulated through these time spots to avoid big crowds in the city. And something looking further, the implementation will start this year. I think that public procurement of this big project is starting at the end of 2024, so probably this will be implemented in 2024. This is big park and ride project in an area near the city. I already told you that all of the parking spots in the city are covered with the sensors. It's around 2,000 parking spots, so we are building a parking lot with 600 parking spaces. That is approximately 30% of increasing of parking spaces that will be positioned near the city, with public transport coming to the city, and all cars coming to the city will be directed to this area. They won't be available to enter the city if there are available spaces in park and ride. So this was my last slide. The idea of slideshow was to show you how ICT solutions can support big management problems in a city of size of Dubrovnik, where touristic pressure is really big. So the need of different measures that are multidisciplinary is really needed, and how ICT solutions can not only manage but give the answer. Are the methods that are implemented really working? Because the numbers and numbers in databases can give us the how to say it, answer. Is everything that we are implemented really working in real life? So thank you very much. I hope it wasn't too long, and I'm looking forward to the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Thank you for sharing your expertise, and it's been very useful to see how you have implemented this innovative solution to address the problems. So third time that our audience will be eager to engage in a further discussion with both of you. So now I will hand over the floor to Martin. So we'll start with the questions and answer discussion.
We can't understand you, Martin.
Yeah.
Sorry, apologies, my mic was still on mute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, that's great. Okay, as already introduced by Paula, my name is Martijn de Vries, and I represent New Energy Coalition, which is one of the partners in the POCITYF project in that we are running, in this case in Lighthouse City Alkmaar. Very nice presentations, both from the side from Christian as from Stjepan. Two totally different topics, but as I said, both really interesting and very educational as far as I'm concerned. I do see some questions in the chat, and to start with the first one in chronological order. The first one is from Ivana from Urada, and it was addressed to Christian, and she's asking that you mentioned that over 1,500 interviews were conducted, and she's anxious to know which methods did you utilize to engage this many interviewees, and what time span for these interviews?
Yeah, thank God I had the opportunity to look it up during the second presentation of Stefan. The part of the interviews were conducted from November 21 to February 22, excluding the preparation time, which started in August 21. This is the first part of this question. And the second part was that, of course, how did we approach the potential interviewees? We, of course, advertised on different communication channels of the the stakeholders of our regional group I described and I talked about it within my presentation. Then we made some advertising in the framework of the universities here in Graz to get staff, university staff and students for such interviews. And we interlinked with the Chamber of Commerce and the Chamber of Labor, and also with the with our unemployment service. So that was mainly the channels we tried to approach potential interviewees. And just to conclude this, after or when we had the results of the interviews in February 22, we or the partner who conducted these interviews for us, it was a private company, made or figured out some personas, and I think you know the concept of personas, and which would be the basis for us also in future to define define several service offers for different user groups, and also to define a dedicated communication strategy. But this wasn't implemented within the project, also not after the project, but we have the basic information when we when we get the approval from our decision makers to start again this mass process here.
Very good. Thanks for your explanation, Christian. It sounds like
You're welcome.
Sounds like a really good cross section, because it was one of the things that crossed my mind when you said that you interviewed people from the university, for instance, and I was actually wondering whether or not that kind of people, this target group, was a representative target group, but actually you, after that, you explained that there were more people from different target groups, so to say, were represented in this this interview round. So sounds interesting. Thanks for that. I do see a question to Stjepan from Christina Sanz Rutherford. And she asked, how does the people counter system exactly contribute to sustainable tourism management in Dubrovnik, aside from statistical purposes? Maybe, Stefan, you can reflect on that.
Yes, I also read that you, Martin, had a couple of questions, so I can maybe connect the answer on all of these.
Very good.
The most important thing, of course, in the city is negotiating with the companies that are bringing visitors to the city. ICT solutions are always something that is complementary and can give the answer, are the measures working or not? So the biggest solution or for these crowds in the city was when the mayor renegotiated new arrangements with cruise ship companies not to arrive or to bring so many people in one period of day. But Dubrovnik visitor system gave us the answer, is that working? Also, this year, Dubrovnik University did a big study in calculating carrying capacity. It's a big document of the city, and it became, how to say it, needed by law in Croatian touristic destinations to do the document of carrying capacity that which will give us the answer how many people is Dubrovnik is giving the answer of sustainability. Is Dubrovnik tourism sustainable or not? Which are numbers sustainable or not? Is 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people when they are within the city walls? How many people can the center accept? Dubrovnik visitor system is very important for the city because Dubrovnik is unique in Croatia that has the numbers of previous 7 years. So this carrying capacity was very easy for us to calculate, and we can see where we do stand now with the numbers. So that these numbers are not solution, or the system is not solution by itself, but it became very important complementary solution. I hope I was clear enough in the explanation.
Well, to me you were, Stjepan, so thanks for that. It is already 12 o'clock. So I'm looking at you, Paula. Do we have to wrap it up now?
Yeah, I think we have to finish our meeting because just in case we are not in delay. So thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure to hear these strategies as you've been implemented. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Martin, Stefan, and Christian for your contributions to today's meeting. I would also like to extend a cordial invitation to each of you for the upcoming meetings of the working group. We will keep you updated by email and social media. And in conclusion, on behalf of you, Rada, and the POCITYF project, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for your presence here this morning. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy it and see you in the next meetings.